My name is Diane Winter, and I grew up in Old Town, Maine. I moved away when I was in my 30s, and I lived in New Hampshire for 20-something years. And then my mom got sick, and then I moved back home to take care of her. I came home in May for spring cleanup, and we did the yard work and all of that other stuff, and I was home for 6 days, and I was going to leave on that Tuesday, and she was supposed to go to dinner with my aunts. It was one of their birthdays, and I heard her. I was upstairs, and I heard her down here, and I don't really know what she was doing, but it didn't sound right. So I came down, and she was trying to get out of that chair, and she couldn't get out. She was pale white, cold sweat, and I'm like, what is wrong? She finally got out of the chair, went in the other room, and I think it was anxiety because I was leaving that day. I called her doctor. They did chest x-rays on her that afternoon, and then there was something with her leg that was bothering her. So the next day we went down to the hospital, and she had shadows in her lungs, and there was also shadows and tumors, blood clots in her legs. I don't know how she didn't die that day, but that's what was going on with her. So she ended up in the hospital for 8 days. And in the hospital, she was incredible. She would lay there, and she's just like, get me out of here. I just want to go upstairs. I want to go to bed. And I'm like, Mom, you're in the hospital. Who is this?
My God. I know who he is.
You see Jimmy?
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Winter.
Where'd she go?
Your son.
Who is that?
That's Jimmy.
Jimmy? That ain't Jimmy.
Who's this?
Yeah, I know.
Who is that?
That's Diane.
That's you. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. When I first brought Mom to the nursing home from the hospital, they took her by ambulance over. And I'll never forget that day. I mean, this is her house. And then she goes into a room with another person that is maybe the size of this living room. She has her bureau, and she has this little cubby thing to put her clothes. And here's her little twin bed, you know, like a hospital bed, and a little bulletin board to hang pictures on and stuff. And that's it. And I lost it. I had to leave. I left the room. My aunt stayed in there. Oh, we'll put this here and we'll put that there. And I couldn't handle it. I'm just like, oh my God. You know, this is what she worked so hard for all of her life, to live in that. I thought, oh my God, it's the worst thing I have ever done to my mother. But it turned out to be the best thing I ever did for my mom. When she first went into the hospital and then into the nursing home, I remember her saying to me one time, don't sell my house. I said, I won't sell your house, Mom. And she did, you know, and I think she always thought she was going to come back here. And I really wish I could take her back here for her, you know, last few years or whatever she has left. I'd love to have her here, but it's too dangerous. So, and now with what's going on, we had gone to an attorney 2 or 3 different times. I want to say 3, for my mom to put the house in my name. And every time we went, you know, we talked about it, and the attorney was like, okay, and then the attorney would talk to my mother by herself, and then we'd leave, and it never got done. My name's not on the house. This was before she got sick. She was in the very early stages, I would say. she had a lot of most of her memory and everything else. She knew what she was doing, but she'd get very confused. And then, I mean, if an attorney told her that it probably wasn't a really good idea to do, then she would probably go, oh, okay, and not do it. But it just never got done. So now that my mom's in a nursing home and the state's paying, then when she passes, the state can make me sell the house and then pay the state back for whatever I get for the house. I can buy the house, but I just have this real big problem about buying a house that's already paid for, that I've lived in for so long. You know, and I totally understand the fact that the state is paying for my mom, but I don't know. It's a real hard thing. I have a real hard time with it because she worked very hard to pay for this house. You know, and the one thing she wanted was for Jimmy and I to be able to do what we want with it. And if it means paying for her care, then I guess that's what we have to do. I don't know. I think the question I would ask is where I had to move from New Hampshire back home to take care of my mother. I left my job, and after this is all said and done, where do I go? You know, am I supposed to move again and move elsewhere, or can I stay here? You know? Does the house have to be sold? Do I have to buy the house, or do I have to sell it? And is there a law that can be written up for situations like this, where people have to move back and give up everything they've had before and come home to take care of a parent? You know, not everybody is married, not everybody has a husband or a wife, or, you know, when you're single and you do it by yourself, it's very hard because you still have to work. So yeah, that's the hard part. It's like I'm still in limbo because I don't really know what's going to happen once she's gone. There's still going to be more major changes for me. So we go with the flow, see what happens. All right, see you later.
Now where are you going?
Home. I love you.
I love you too. Yeah.
We'll be back.
All right.
See you later.